Before you start making fun of preppers, you need to watch this. Hey everybody, Hill Country Prepper. Appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Thanks to all my subscribers. Really do appreciate the comments, keep them coming. Just want to say thanks for that. Back in the, I guess the late 2000s is when I really started to pay attention to what's going on. Now I will say that growing up in the 80s, I was concerned about world politics, geopolitics, things that were going on, the rise of China, and the way that the United States was giving up a lot of their sovereignty. Did I do anything about it? No, not really. I'd bitch about it, but I wouldn't really do anything. I was really complacent. I was one of those, like I said, I'd complain, but I really wouldn't do anything. I'd just go along to get along, right? Maybe I was a sheeple. I'll just put it that way. But then, when I started paying taxes, I really started to pay attention to what's going on. As things went along into the 2000s, I really started to get concerned about where we were going as a nation. And then with the election of Obama into office, I really took note. And I think it was about that time that I started taking prepping seriously. I think the modern movement that most of us got caught up in came about as a result of the National Geographic show Doomsday Preppers, which I believe started airing in about 2011. That really awoke the consciousness of being prepared. Now, of course, I know you're familiar with the show. They would do these different scenarios with these different individuals and their different ways that they were prepping. What that led me to do, I would run off and I'd watch an episode and I'd run off in this direction. Well, I need to start preparing for an EMP, so I need to find alternative energy sources. Go out and buy solar panels and things like that to be prepared for a grid down type of scenario. Another episode might talk about having a retreat location. Fortunately, I have a bug out location. I have for years, but that kind of got me focused on that, going and fortifying that, getting it prepared, having a place to go. Another episode might talk about water. Do you have enough water? Can you filtrate your water in case of a contamination of the water supply? That led to getting into different ways to sanitize water and filter water, make sure that you have water and water storage. Went off in that direction. Fuel, is there going to be a fuel crisis? That led me to go off and stockpile propane containers. Jerry cans full of gasoline. Do I have enough gasoline on hand? Yeah, okay, check that box. I'm prepared in that area. What about danger to the food supply? Got to stock up on food. Got to have shelf-stable, long-term storage. Yep, did that. Check that box. Really, I was running off in all kinds of different directions based upon these different scenarios. One that I think of a lot, remember one episode, I don't know if you remember this or not, there was this lady that was really prepping hard for a pandemic. I mean, she was prepping hard. She had a plan and she was working her plan and she was prepared. That lady is a rock star here lately. Let me tell you, you know what I'm talking about. She was prepared for 2020, without a doubt. Now brings us to 2021. We've gone through the pandemic. We're right in the middle of it right now. There's been crises that have happened up to then, and preppers have been prepared. I'll give you a couple of examples. When Hurricane Harvey came up on the Texas Gulf Coast, there was a perceived shortage of fuel. And this was not because there was a lack of fuel, it was because the trucks couldn't get into the fueling racks to get the supply, so it created a perceived shortage. Well, like I said, I had been preparing for fuel shortages, so I had gasoline. I had gasoline on hand. I typically don't let our vehicles get below, for sure, a half a tank, and a quarter tank. I'm normally topping it off, 5, 6, 7 gallons, and I'm good to go. I don't let my vehicles get low. I didn't wait in line when Hurricane Harvey was causing that panic. because I was prepared. Going into the 2020, into the pandemic, you know, we all saw the shortage of personal protective equipment, big shortage of face masks and N95, hand sanitizers, Lysol spray, stuff like that, toilet paper, for crying out loud. Don't know what that was about, but anyway, going into it, I was prepared. In fact, I was one that was actually giving away 3M N95 masks to people that needed them and didn't have them, to people that were really most susceptible. And I was able to do that because I had a stockpile, because I had purchased them 10 years before and I was prepared, so it wasn't an issue. And now we've come to the point where it's almost like prepping has become popular again. You look on YouTube right now and other outlets, you'll see soccer moms that are giving how to prepare a prepper pantry and how to prepare for lockdown. People that you normally wouldn't see making videos about preparedness are taking a big step toward doing that. So the people in the prepper community were prepared, and they went into any crisis that came their way, whether it be a power outage, a fuel shortage, like we saw here, I mentioned, food, supplies. They were prepared. And so before you start making fun of preppers, just keep that in mind, that when these crises come along, we were prepared. So with that, keep prepping, be safe. Just my thoughts, Hill Country Prepper.